Welcome to Keep Energizing Yourself, our Facebook Live event. Glad you could join us. Thank you for joining us this month because you, our listeners, voted on our topic this month, and it is arthritic conditions. And isn't that amazing? It's January with arthritic conditions. How timely. First, I'm going to start with a little story. I think you can recognize it. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who got lost. While she was looking for her way home, she came across an unusual man. He was silver and appeared to be stuck in one position. She noticed an oil can nearby, so she gave him a little oil. When he was able to speak, he simply asked her to help him get moving again. He missed being able to move freely. The girl obliged, and the man joined her on her journey. Eventually, the little girl found her way home, and the man regained his flexibility and enthusiasm for life. He even got his heart back in the process. Of course, you know the story I'm talking about. It's The Wizard of Oz, and the man is the infamous Tin Man. So when I think about arthritis with those stiff, creaky, achy joints, that is the first image that comes to mind. Please get me the oil can and oil my joints so I can be flexible, movable, and be able to get on with my life. So today, again, I'd like to thank you for joining us, and just a quick Jin Shin Jitsu overview. Remember, it's non-invasive, and we're going to be using light touch over clothing, and it helps balance the three areas of our life: the body, physical, the mind, our mental, and spiritual, our emotional piece of us. Just want to give a little quick reminder that Jin Shin Jitsu is not intended to be a substitute for medical care or any treatment by a licensed healthcare provider. So now that that's out of the way, let's get to business. And what really is arthritis? Well, if you look up in the dictionary, it'll tell you that it means literally inflamed joints. And what we find is it gets to be a vicious cycle. You need the sleep, exercise helps the joint pain, but because of the joint pain, maybe you can't sleep and it keeps you awake. And what's that vicious cycle of trying to get the rest you need, be able to be mobile and flexible to be able to alleviate some of that discomfort? Well, our first self-help here, we're going to jump right in. Our first self-help is just an easy self-help. I use it all the time. What brought me to Jin Shin Jitsu was arthritic type conditions. And I would always tell people when I spoke about this and we talked about holding this particular self-help. I'm from Wisconsin, so I really like duct tape. I said they should have duct taped my finger on this particular digit because I held it all the time, and it's so easy to do. So our first self-help is we're going to take our right hand, we're going to encircle our left index finger. Now again, I'm not rubbing, I'm not squeezing, we're not working that hard here. Reminder, Jin Shin Jitsu is the easy button. So you can lay your hand on your lap. Just be very comfortable. So as we hold our index finger, let us again work with our breath, because for right now it's a great timekeeper for us. And do 9 inhales and 9 exhales. As we feel the air come through our nostrils on this inhale, fill our lungs, expand through our chest cavity, out to our fingers, down to our toes, as we then can exhale and feel the air move through our nostrils and take everything we don't need with it, clean our cells, clean our body, clean our spirit, clean any emotional, mental baggage that we have hanging around there. And then we inhale. And you notice after a period of time, does that breath change? Because Jinjin Jitsu also brings us to a new awareness of physical, mental, and emotional changes. Sometimes it's subtle, but it can be so impactful as we begin to breathe fuller, learn to relax and de-stress a little, be able to find comfort that we have a way to help ourselves. Now, isn't that empowering? Just to have something so simple and effective that can help us through situations like discomfort in our body, this arthritic conditions. This particular self-help is great for helping us to adjust to weather conditions and helping that muscular system and the upper back. So during this time of year, especially in January, in the winter, in Wisconsin, we have temperature changes, temperature swings, storm fronts moving in. And so this will help us be happy and content wherever I am. It will help us adjust to those weather changes. And sometimes it can be more than that weather change. It might be a living situation that you need to be able to get out a little more, or so you don't feel so snowbound, cabin fever. So can you feel that breath? I just noticed my breath expanding, and I took a much larger breath this time with this self-help. All right, are you ready to change sides? Let us take our left hand and encircle our right index finger. Excuse me. As we inhale and feel that breath fill our lungs, cycle to every cell in our being, and then we exhale and let go of what we no longer need. And then repeat with another inhale. Can you feel your shoulders relaxing and you're not so rigid? And how are we doing with that 9 inhales and 9 exhales? And you can see you can hold this index finger as you're reading, as you're watching TV. It is so easy and available and accessible anytime, any place you are. All right. Are we ready for our next self-help? This one is going to be a little bit, you have to have a little more mobility. So I will preface it by saying, if you aren't that mobile, it's really okay. Use one of the other ones instead. Don't make it that much effort. But here we go. We're going to call this ankle sandwich. We are going to take our right hand And we're going to place it on the triangular, here's my ankle bone, on this triangular pad on the inside of my ankle. And then my left hand is going to mirror it on the outside. So we're sandwiching the ankle. And let's hold this for a few minutes. And what this helps us with, this is our natural aspirin in Jin Shin Jitsu. It is great to help with those discomforts and challenges. Very easy. It's actually also a nice detox. And we just hold it. Again, I'm not pushing, I'm not rubbing, I'm not pressing. I am just lovingly placing my hand here and holding that area. Do you find that easy to do? Some people put their foot up on a platform and then lean over. I generally hold my leg up this way, but whatever is comfortable for you. As your awareness begins to grow, are you feeling any pulsation underneath your fingers? That is a good good timekeeper also, is when that pulsation in my right hand and my left hand come into rhythm, that they're the same rhythm and the same intensity, strength. That may be an indication that you may choose to go on to the next self-help. But if you can't feel that pulsation, don't worry. That's just a level of awareness. And Jin Shin Jitsu is still doing its wonderful job of helping our body bring harmony and rhythm to it. I'm going to just read a little bit from Self-Help Book 1. And here's what Mary said. Through Jin Shin Jitsu, our awareness is awakened to the simple fact that all we need for harmony and balance, physically, mentally, emotionally, digestively, and spiritually, is within myself. Through this awareness, the feeling of complete peace, serenity, security, and oneness within is evident. So those may be some of the insights you may begin to be aware of. Let's do the right. Again, the right hand is on the inside of the ankle, inside part, and the left is on the outside. As we're touching these two areas, and being with our breath, with the inhale and exhale, can you feel that movement going through your body? Can you feel the air pass through your nostrils in that inhale. It's filling your lungs, expanding your chest cavity. And then the exhale. As you let go, you can feel that air going out of your nostrils. And then again, we're going to inhale. And in that inhale, we're going to receive exactly what we need. And then we will exhale and let go what isn't useful. Great job. All right, are you ready for the next? This one is super easy. We can hold both of them at the same time or one at a time. We will be touching right back here at the mid back of the knee. This is great for hip discomforts, leg discomforts, great for any of the muscular system. So what a lot of people like about this is that they can make it a twofer. We always want to be efficient in this country. So you may hold both back of the knees at the same time. And we can feel that rhythm, that peace, a little bit more flexibility. As we exhale, all the way down to our toes. And inhale, all the way up the back. And exhale, down the front. What a wonderful rhythm. Exhale. And inhale. And how is that feeling? I love this one. I can lay in bed and I can curl up and just hold the back of my knees here and just kind of gels me out a little to be able to sleep well. And speaking of sleep well, our next self-help is focus on helping with possible insomnia, a little hard time sleeping at night. This is a really, I love this self-help because there are times that I'm having a little challenges on weather fronts and I'm up a little later or I'm up multiple times at night and I go, oh, come on. So I have to remind myself also, my gosh, you have this insomnia self-help. Let's help with that. Let's use that a little. So here it is. We're going to take our right hand and hold our left thumb. And we're going to hold that for 5 minutes. Today we're not going to practice it quite for the 5 minutes, but generally you're looking at the clock if you can't sleep. So 5 minutes is a good timetable for that. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting in rhythm with your breath to help you de-stress and relax a little, because sometimes you're frustrated because you can't go to sleep, right? And you're watching the clock and you've counted a billion sheep already. And you just need to come back into the thing you can control, your breath. Exhale and inhale. And let your body work its wondrous magic to bring it back into, to bring your system back into rhythm. And after 5 minutes, then we're going to keep that right hand and we're going to just move it to our little finger. And that is another 5-minute hold, please, on the little finger. And if you fall asleep at this joint, hooray! You may not need the other part of the step. I would say congratulations. Now the next would be to take our left hand and encircle our right thumb for the 5 minutes. Again, exhaling and inhaling. Being into that rhythm of our breath. The great harmonizer. And then we move to the little finger for 5 minutes. And the majority of time, it works like a charm and you are asleep before you hit that last step. But if not, start over again. Now, are you ready? I would be remiss if I didn't add some self-help for our four-legged friends because they have arthritis too. And as you know from different last month, that I truly am a dog person. And in our office, we help people. I have an office that we're taping in today. This is my human office. And I also have another office that is for our animals. And so today we have one of my dogs. I raise and show Boston Terriers. And he's wrapped in a blanket, the poor old guy. And this is Cooper. Cooper is 12. He used to be, when I taught animal classes, he would be my demonstration dog. He does a lot of outreach. He also, oh, buddy boy, yeah. You were waiting patiently over there. You wanted to be the star, right? Yeah. And he also was a performance dog he ran a lot of agility and did some other venues. So in the performance dog world. And so this little guy, he gets a little stiff. It's kind of his nature, he gets a little stiff. For a Boston 12, it is, yes, and you could be a Chewbacca voiceover because of your little groaning. Mm-hmm. And so the home care that we're going to work with this little guy is going to be really easy. There's many things that we could do for arthritis for our little four-legged friends here, but we're going to have a real easy one. Here's his shoulder blade. I'm going to place one hand across that shoulder blade. I'm coming across him right now because this is where he's laying. So I'm placing my hand on his right side. So, and then my other hand is going to go right here by his tuck up or his groin. Yeah. And he likes this one. What happens many times is, the hips get a little tight and things, and those front legs try to take the rest of the weight there. So this is a very nice home care. And like I said before, I have little guys, so they fit nice in your hand, your arms. And this will help with the physical body problems and discomforts. What's going on here, my little guy? Should we do the other side? Are you particular today? You are. Okay, let's turn you down. I'm here. Is this better? All right. Now you're a happy boy. Well, they have a preference too. And now he's a happy boy. So you have to remember each one's a little different. And as you can see, he likes to lay in a different position than the one I had last time, who would lay on her back and let you do Jinshin Jitsu for 20 hours if you could. He's happy like this. So keep energizing yourself, and thank you again for joining us. Don't forget your four-legged friends as well as yourself to keep in harmony. And please don't forget to vote next month on our next topic. And just a reminder, last month we talked about the self-help classes that I have coming up beginning in February, and we found out that we had a little glitch with Eventbrite. They said that they were closed in full. Well, we fixed that little challenge. So if you're still interested in signing up for the self-help classes that I'm teaching in Green Bay, it's all day on Saturday towards the end of February. Please check it out on our Facebook page on the events, and there's a link there to Eventbrite in order to register for classes. Thank you again for watching us today and letting us share Jinshin Jitsu. And just a reminder that this is not intended for a substitute for medical care or treatment by your healthcare practitioners or your veterinarians. Happy harmonizing.